Caden, a general in the Galactic Empire, is a triple S rank Omega. I'm his mate, a low-grade Alpha. Caden was disgusted by this forced pairing, which was designed solely to produce superior offspring. His eyes went cold. In the dead of night, he grabbed me by the throat and warned me, "Don't get any ideas. I'm not having your baby." I stared right back at him, my red lips parting slightly. Alphas can get pregnant too. Want to give it a try, General? My endocrine system is a mess, so my ruts are always irregular. One minute I was just chilling on the couch, snacking and binge-watching a show, and the next, bam, a rut hit me out of nowhere. A searing heat spread from my heart through my entire body. My breath came out hot. This is so annoying.
So annoying.
I'm so frustrated. And I desperately want to hold Caden, or have him hold me, but that's impossible. We've been married for over 3 months, and Caden won't even let me in his room. But he isn't home today. I picked the lock on his door, pulled all the clothes out of his 3 closets, and built a circular nest on his bed. Idovine. I pulled his blanket over me, covering my head completely. Only when I was tightly wrapped in the bellflower-scented pheromones did the restlessness inside me finally begin to subside. Caden is a neat freak. He's definitely going to punish me when he comes back and sees this mess. But I couldn't bring myself to care. I rolled over, my damp hair sticking to my forehead. It was getting stuffy under the covers. I kicked off a corner of the blanket. Still hot, so I just stripped naked. Stretching out my legs, I hugged the blanket and fell into a deep sleep. I dreamed about the first time Caden and I temporarily marked each other. His face was cold as he presented the gland on the back of his neck to my lips. I had no idea what I was doing. Blushing, I didn't know where to bite, so I just stuck out my tongue and licked him gently. Useless. He snapped at me impatiently, then bit the back of my neck to show me how it was done. His bite brought tears to my eyes. My body trembled. My vision blurred with tears. Then, under Caden's icy gaze, I bit him back, hard. Get up. I was still half asleep when a sudden chill washed over me. Caden had violently ripped the blanket off my body. I flinched, instinctively wrapping my arms around myself. Get out. So fierce. Half of my body was numb from sleep. I struggled to push myself up with one arm. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I knew I was in the wrong. So I kept my head down and started apologizing on autopilot while slowly pulling on some clothes from the pile. Noah. Caden's frigid tone sent a shiver down my spine. That's when I realized that when I was building my nest yesterday, I'd put his underwear at the very top of the pile. So the item I was currently putting on was, no wonder it felt a little big. I quickly pulled it off and started apologizing again. No scolding followed. Curious, I looked up. Caden was already gone. Changed into my own clothes and went downstairs, still wearing one of Caden's trench coats. It was his biggest one, large enough to swallow me whole, and I had already wrinkled the hell out of it. You'll report to the 1st United Military Academy tomorrow. Caden was sitting on the living room sofa. His gray-blue eyes swept over me, his voice betraying no emotion. The 1st United Military Academy? My eyes widened as I stared at Caden. It was the top university in the Empire, a place so prestigious that just getting in was considered a ticket to a career in the military. It was full of the best and the brightest. I tugged at the trench coat. What would I do there? I asked, trying to sound casual. I don't want to go to school. I haven't had nearly enough of my happy-go-lucky days of just eating, drinking, and having fun. My mate can't be a nobody without even a high school diploma. I lowered my head, dejected, scuffing the floor with the toe of my shoe in silence. Keep your temper in check at school. Don't cause trouble. And don't expect me to clean up your messes. During a rut, an alpha is extremely sensitive to their mate's pheromones. Caden was only a few steps away, and as his scent drifted over, my restlessness returned. My body ached for an embrace. Noah, what are you thinking about? Caden frowned, noticing my distraction. Nothing, I said, shaking my head. Caden had no intention of wasting his precious time on me. He stood up to leave. He walked to the door, then came back and took a box of suppressants from a drawer. If you're in a rut, use these. Don't resort to such shameless behavior. You're on your own. You're on your own, you're on your own. That's all he ever says. I made a face at Caden's retreating back, tossed his trench coat onto the sofa, and picked up a suppressant injector to examine it. How the hell do you use this thing, sir? Leo appeared out of nowhere, a wide smile on his face, interrupting my attempt to inject my arm. He's Caden's adjutant, an alpha. I don't like him. I always feel like his smile is flippant and full of bad intentions. Don't call me sir. Why didn't you leave with Caden? It's your first time enrolling, sir. The general asked me to assist you. Leo walked over and took the injector from my hand. Are your pheromones grape-scented? I mumbled a yes, not really paying attention. Head down. He reached out and touched the back of my neck, expertly injecting the suppressant. It works better here. My body instantly relaxed, and the vague unease in my chest vanished. You've never used these before? How did you usually get through your ruts? Leo leaned in close, a glint of a smile in his fox-like eyes behind his glasses. We're both alphas, so why is he so much taller? None of your business. I pushed Leo away. He obediently stood up, but then started following me around like a lost puppy. Sir, the 1st United Military Academy has mandatory dorms. Let me help you pack. I snapped. Don't call me sir. As you wish, sir. Young master, this is as far as I go. If you have any problems, feel free to contact me anytime. After I repeatedly insisted last night, I finally got that creep Leo to change how he addressed me. Thanks. The line for alpha registration was already long, and I couldn't help but speed up. You're going the wrong way. The Omega registration is over here. Someone suddenly grabbed my sleeve hard. I followed the pale, slender hand up to its owner's face. Let's be friends. I'm Orion from the command department. What about you? His purple eyes stared at me, sparkling with a smile. His white hair was loosely tied back, and a few strands blew against me in the wind. I'm not an Omega. Huh? Don't tell me you're an Alpha? How are you even shorter than me? As he spoke, he patted my head. Personal attack. I yanked my sleeve back and stared at him blankly. I am an Alpha. And for the record, I'm 5 feet 10 inches. That's taller than the galactic average for males. I'm not short.
Gross.
Orion's expression changed. As if he'd touched something filthy. He took out a handkerchief and vigorously wiped his fingertips. Stay away from me, you smelly alpha. Psycho. I'm not smelly.
Mel?
Wanna hit me? I ignored him and went to the back of the alpha registration line. Holy shit. A commotion suddenly broke out in the crowd ahead. Ah!
Physique, triple S rank.
Psyche, double S rank. My god. What a monster. Who's that badass? Who else could it be? The 3rd prince, Ethan. The one His Majesty found on Junkstar. Enrollment required a qualifications review where physique and psyche ranks were publicly tested for fairness. Kyle Wilson.
Physique, double S rank.
Psyche, S rank. Next, Noah Song. I stepped forward as a blue light scanned me from head to toe. Noah Song.
Physique, F rank.
Psyche, B rank. My stats were even worse than an average person's. As the flat, robotic voice finished, whispers erupted around me. Which family bribed their way in for this loser? Aren't they embarrassed? Probably the Booth family. I saw him get out of their shuttle. TSK, what a waste of resources. I listened silently, then walked to a corner with my head down. I hate school. Whoa, what's with the freshmen this year? A gasp suddenly came from the line across from us. An Omega with a triple S rank psyche. Are we about to get another Omega general? Their physique is only S rank. A double triple S like the general only comes around once every few centuries. Still, that's insanely strong. When the tests were over, 3 names were echoing all over campus. 2 geniuses, Ethan from the combat department and Orion from the command department. And 1 loser, me. Dorms were 2 people per room. Except for Omegas, everyone was assigned a room based on their overall entrance ranking. I was paired with a beta. Hi, I'm Julian Wilson from the mech design department. Nice to meet you. Julian's voice was as gentle as his name suggested. I'm Noah Song from the combat department. Nice to meet you too. He froze. For a second, probably surprised that the infamous F-rank loser was in the combat department. He smiled slightly. What a coincidence. My younger brother is also in the combat department. Knock, knock, knock. A very rhythmic knock came from the door. Julian opened it and stood there, stunned. It was Ethan. Your Highness. Can I help you? Julian, could we switch dorms? You can room with your brother. Julian's eyes lit up instantly. Noah, I'm so sorry, but my brother Kyle sleepwalks. If I room with him, I can keep an eye on him. He gave me an apologetic smile, then happily moved his things out. Now it was just me and Ethan in the dorm. I told you I hate school. Grape. Ethan habitually tried to put his arm around my shoulder and pat my back comfortingly. But I was older now and I wasn't falling for that anymore. Your Highness. I took a step back and glanced up at Ethan. We're not close. Ethan's hand froze in midair. The biggest scrapyard on Junkstar was run by Ethan. I was his second in command. I'd grown up on Junkstar for as long as I could remember. When I was 7, I found Ethan, half dead, in a corner of a trash heap. I was starving, and seeing his fine clothes, I started patting him down. Kid, how old are you? Ethan weakly opened his eyes and grabbed my hand. I got scared and turned to run, but I was still tightly clutching the hard candy I just found on him. Ethan's voice was hoarse. Come here. Get me some water. I'll give you candy. I watched him cautiously. All afternoon. Only after I had licked the candy until it dissolved, confirming he was too weak to hurt me, did I go over. Later, he told me to call him brother. He gave me a name. He beat up the people who bullied me. He told me about the outside world. He helped me conquer Junkstar. Grape, how about brother takes you away from here? Want to go to school? My Grape is so cute, you'll definitely make a lot of friends. I said yes. And then what I got was Ethan disappearing without a word. I searched the entire planet for him. It took me a year and a half. I couldn't find him. My heart turned to ash. I drank myself into a stupor every day, neglecting the scrapyard completely. Until one time, I stood on top of a tall pile of junk. I'm gonna jump, brother. If you don't show up to catch me, I'll die. Below me were several upright steel bars. I jumped. My body fell, and then hung in midair, swaying gently. No one appeared. I grabbed the rope I tied around my waist earlier and pulled myself up, panting and crying. The owner of the neighboring scrapyard couldn't take it anymore. He pulled me aside. Hey kid, your brother left on a ship willingly. Stop looking for him. I didn't believe him. My thoughts were dark. I'd rather search for his bones than believe he would abandon me. Hey, I'm being nice here. Look at this life vlog I filmed. Don't go. Kids these days have no patience. I accidentally filmed your brother. Don't blame me for not telling you sooner. I only just noticed. Don't grab. Look here. See? Bottom left corner. That's Ethan. I stopped searching. My longing slowly fermented into hatred. There were 2 beds in the dorm, separated by an aisle. A clear divide. In the middle of the night, a wave of heat shot up from deep inside me. Damn this rut. I endured the discomfort, fumbling for my suppressants in the dark. I kept the noise to a minimum. I didn't want to wake Ethan. Where the hell did that Leo guy put my suppressants? I was sweating with anxiety. Grape. Ethan turned on a small night light and knelt beside me, his voice gentle. What's wrong? What are you looking for? Why is your face so red? Are you not feeling well? Get away from me. I pushed Ethan away, my breath coming in ragged gasps. Grape, go away. I don't want you. Ethan ignored my protests and wrapped his arms around my limp body. Grape, I was wrong. I'm not asking for your forgiveness, but your health is what's important. Let's go to the hospital first. I'm not sick. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm just... Ethan's eyes turned red. What's wrong? Please just tell me. Okay? Tell you my ass. My mind was a chaotic mess. My body was burning up. I didn't want to deal with Ethan, so I bit my lip hard and said nothing. Grape-scented pheromones uncontrollably spilled out. Sickeningly sweet. A rut? Using too many suppressants is bad for you. How about I help you? Grape? That was fast, Grape. After Ethan cleaned me up and went to wash his hands, I finally broke down and cried. After I came of age, I always knew my ruts weren't normal, but I never paid it much mind. I didn't expect to have such a major issue last night. Since classes hadn't started yet, I went to the school infirmary. Generally speaking, an adult alpha without an omega will have a rut once every 3 months. You can usually just tough it out. For those with lower tolerance, 1 shot of suppressant is enough. An alpha with an omega will have more intense ruts, but with an omega's comfort, it's not a big deal. But the doctor pushed up his glasses, a strange smile on his face, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Normally, an alpha's heat can only be induced by an omega's pheromones. But your rut and heat are interfering with each other, which weakens the effect of suppressants. There's also a chance your heat can occur alongside your rut. My recommendation is that during your rut, you have your omega comfort you and soothe you with their psyche. How did you know I have an omega? I had been feeling down and listless, but that sentence snapped me to attention. Kayden had never made my identity public. Very few people knew about our relationship. The Research Institute had forced Kayden to marry me, but we had only temporarily marked each other once or twice. Just a few bites. Logically, a temporary mark shouldn't show up on an alpha. The test results show a small amount of omega pheromones in your system. I returned to the dorm with the conditioning medicine. The doctor prescribed. Ethan wasn't there. Good. I didn't want to see him anyway. I furiously punched the neatly folded, block-like quilt on Ethan's bed until it collapsed. I plopped down on it. Time to space out for a bit. It's been 2 years. Feels like everything has changed. Attention all students, attention all students. Please proceed to the auditorium immediately. The opening ceremony will begin in 20 minutes. Do they take attendance? If not, I'm not going. I went anyway. Leo sent me a message saying the general wanted to casually see me after the ceremony. Unsurprisingly, Kayden's appearance was the high point of the opening ceremony. The 5-star general with double triple S ranks had repelled countless attacks from pirates and the Federation. He was the Empire's blade, its undisputed guardian. Young master, this way. Kayden was an honorary alumnus and had his own private residence on campus. It was a standalone villa. Kayden looked at me and said expressionlessly, "Come here." Leo didn't come in, closing the door behind us from the outside. I had a bad feeling about this and reluctantly shuffled over. See, I remained standing. Impatient, Kayden reached out and pulled me, making me stumble onto his lap. It was hard. Oh, his thigh. Afraid of falling, my hands instinctively wrapped around his neck. "Njh." Startled, I immediately tried to get up, but Kayden held my waist tightly. His sharp nose nuzzled the back of my neck. "You, let me go." Sandalwood. My body went rigid. "It seems you and that third prince are getting along quite well." Kayden grabbed my chin, his eyes boring into mine, a chilling smile on his lips. "The last temporary mark has faded. Be good. Let's refresh it." He forcefully pushed my head down. "Open your mouth." My teeth touched the soft, pale skin of his neck. I left Kayden's villa, my head still a little fuzzy. Temporary marking was a strange thing. Pheromones slowly intertwining, merging. Even my nerve endings tingled. Kayden bit me afterward, and now his scent was all over me. So domineering it wouldn't fade. Not like me. No matter how many pheromones I released, the scent would be gone in a moment. I only recently learned that an alpha whose pheromones dissipate quickly is a huge turnoff for omegas in bed. Luckily, Kayden doesn't like me. We haven't gotten to that point yet. "You, stop right there." I heard a somewhat familiar voice behind me but paid it no mind. "Stop. Didn't you hear me call you?" A sharp pain shot through my shoulder blade, and I stopped. So annoying. "What do you want?" Orion pressed on my shoulder, leaning down to sniff my neck. "You little liar. You are an omega." "I'm not. You're dripping omega pheromones. You're in heat and still acting this bold, just strolling around? You're asking for it. Aren't you afraid?" My face flushed red, and I turned to leave. "Wait." Orion suddenly grabbed my wrist, pinning half of my body. A low chuckle escaped his throat. "Interesting, very interesting. You've been temporarily marked by an omega. An alpha who can be marked by an omega is a rare sight. You're quite a treasure. Not like those other smelly alphas." Orion's gaze darkened as he whispered in my ear. "I was wrong last time. To make it up to you, I'll allow you to forgive me. Definitely a psycho." I jabbed him hard with my elbow. I don't know what I hit, but Orion let out a pained, strange-sounding grunt. I took the chance to shake him off and ran back to the dorm. Ethan was gone again. I soaked in the bath for an hour before the scent of bellflowers finally started to fade. Classes start tomorrow. I plan to go to bed early tonight. Actually, Sleeping in class is better. I had no foundation in the subject. The professor lectured endlessly at the front while the students below wrote furiously. Everyone except me. School was killing me. I couldn't understand the theory classes and I couldn't keep up with physical training. Aside from the practical piloting class, I was at the bottom in every other subject. Before the exam, I heard that cramming was a good last-ditch effort, so I even found a temple to pray at. It didn't work. Caden looked at my midterm grades, his face as black as the bottom of a pot. I had once awkwardly thought about asking Ethan to tutor me, but I couldn't find him. After asking around, I learned that the emperor was gravely ill, and the princes were openly and secretly fighting for the throne. Ethan probably didn't have time to worry about me. Noah, did a dog eat your brain? You failed all 9 subjects. The academic warning was sent straight to me. I kept my head down and said nothing. I fidgeted with the seam of my pants. Caden and I were nothing like a married couple. Except for when we were marking, I always felt like he was raising a son. I thought he would just scold me a few times like usual and be done with it, but then he picked up a ruler that glinted coldly. Come here. Bend over. He patted his lap and beckoned to me. I turned and ran. Afraid of me? Don't move. Pull up your clothes yourself. What are you crying for? Hey, how come you're not sleeping anymore? Felix poked my back, his cat-like eyes wide. You're trying to study now? Oh God, this is the end. He was second to last in our class and I was last. We were permanent residents of the back row. I would sleep with my head on my desk, and he would stare blankly into space. We had a great system. Felix looked at me with a mournful expression. Father, are you truly going to pass the throne of last place to your son? Your son is not worthy of this great responsibility. Boo-hoo-hoo. My ass hurt. Couldn't sleep. I shifted in my seat and pushed away Felix's approaching head. Ahem, let's be serious. Felix's face turned mysterious. I've got some inside info. The Empire and the Federation are co-hosting an exchange competition. You get course credit just for signing up, and if you do well enough, you'll be exempt from finals. How about it? Tempting? Oh, that's huge. News? And all you have is oh? Oh. A roar like a lioness came from the front of the class. You two in the back, what are you talking about? Pay attention. Both of you. Get out. Sorry, Professor. I painfully got to my feet and limped out of the classroom. Felix looked at me with respect. No way, dude. You didn't even take a day off for that? Talk about persevering through pain. I was too tired to talk. Felix let me lean on him for support, his mouth never stopping for a second. I'll tell you another secret, but don't tell anyone else. My aunt's nephew's uncle's sister's daughter's daughter-in-law works in the palace. She's the sister-in-law of a trusted aide to one of the Empress's ladies-in-waiting. Are you listening? Yeah. I hear the third prince is going to marry into the Roland family. That's a powerhouse alliance. With Duke Roland's support, it's a sure thing he'll become the crown prince. An arranged marriage. I clenched my fists, my knuckles turning white. But it's not a done deal. You know the Duke's only son, the Omega? He's got a serious case of alphaphobia. Hates us stinky alphas. Not that it matters to me. I couldn't handle someone like that anyway. I just want a sweet, soft little Omega to date. Felix had a dreamy look on his face. I scooted away from him in disgust. What? You're a single loser too. Don't you want a sweet little Omega who'll call you hubby? Playfully punch your chest and beg for kisses? An image of those freezing gray-blue eyes flashed. In my mind, I shivered. Call him hubby? Punch his chest? Caden? He could kill 100 of me with one punch. After class, I left the building and ran into Leo at the corner. Ma, under the force of my withering glare, Leo smoothly corrected himself. Dashingly handsome young master, please come with me. What for? Right now, I was in a bad mood about anything and anyone related to Caden. The general asked me to give you a gift. Leo presented a small, exquisite box with both hands. Oh, At least he has the decency to apologize. I guess I can forgive him. Back in my dorm, I eagerly opened the box. It was a tube of ointment and a stack of past exam papers. Screw you. Felix's inside info was spot on. Soon after, the school announced the Empire Federation exchange competition. With the motto competition first, friendship optional, many students were eager to sign up. Students could form their own teams of 3 to 5 people. Noah, let's team up. I found a few other guys, let's do this together. Felix came over excitedly with 3 other alphas. Hold on. Who wants to team up with this loser? You think I'm running a charity case? Yeah, Felix, if you want to team up with him, don't drag us into it. We only agreed to carry you because you paid us, but I never agreed to carry this weakling. The guy stretched out his hand, fingers splayed. If you want us to take him, fine. Add another 50,000 credits. Felix put his hands on his hips and yelled, You guys, you're going back. On your word. Have you no shame? So what? All the other teams are already formed. Besides us, who's going to take you 2 rejects? One's a 2B, the other's an FB, ha ha ha. If you want the extra credit, you'd better listen. Got it? The buzzcut alpha leading the trio crossed his arms, his eyes full of contempt. 100,000 credits, and we'll take the loser next to you. A guy who bribed his way into school must have plenty of cash. That kid's so soft and smooth. Who knows which back door he used to get in? Ha ha ha. You know, you're right. He looks just like an Omega. So effeminate and whiny. Ha ha. Their laughter died abruptly. Their eyes darted nervously behind me, and they quickly lowered their heads. Darling. It was Orion. Don't look. He covered my eyes, my eyelashes brushing against his palm. A high-level psyche user can kill without lifting a finger, and teaching a few people a lesson was child's play. I heard a few screams and pleas for mercy, which soon faded into pained groans. Orion pulled me away. Seeing that Felix was frozen in shock, I grabbed him too. Darling, be on my team. I'll get you that exemption from finals. Your friend can join too. How about it? Orion took the hand I was using to pull Felix, wiped it, and made a gesture as if to kiss it. Ugh. I held up a finger to stop his face. What are you doing? You hate alphas. So why are you touching me? Do I even know you? Of course you do. You even know what I like and don't like. Orion looked thrilled. Shy smile spreading across his face. Darling, you're so good to me. Good to you, my ass. I don't know you. Orion froze, was quiet for a few seconds, then leaned in close to my ear. But I discovered your secret with Caden. He chuckled, winking mischievously. He's not good to you, is he? So cold, always with that deadpan face. He pumps you so full of his pheromones. He clearly doesn't know how to be gentle. He just likes to mess with you. Come with me. Whatever he can give you, I'll triple it. I'm very well behaved. Outside the bedroom, I'll do whatever you say. His lips brushed against my earlobe. What is wrong with this guy's brain? I couldn't take it anymore and headbutt him. It's not that kind of relationship. We're legally married. Hiss, my headbutt split his lip, but he didn't get angry. He just pouted and showed me the cut. It hurts. He gently pinched my cheek. You're so cruel. Kiss it better. From a distance, it looked like he was kissing me. Grape. The newcomer was Ethan. He strode over and pulled me away from Orion. I hadn't seen him in months. He seemed like a stranger to me again. Orion sneered. Well, if it isn't our esteemed crown prince. To what do we owe the pleasure? Ethan ignored him, grabbed my hand, and started to walk away. Orion blocked his path. I'm still here. Don't touch my darling. Ethan stopped, his face cold, a storm brewing in his eyes. Your darling? Orion raised an eyebrow. That's right. Darling agreed to be on my team for the competition. Be smart and don't interrupt us. When did I agree to that? With you? What do you think you are? Something good. Something very useful, right, darling? Shut up. Not even emperor yet and you're already giving orders? You don't get to throw your weight around with me. Shameless. This was the first time I'd ever seen Ethan argue with someone. It was kind of fascinating. Grape, team up with me. I'm better than him. Orion's smile instantly vanished. Ethan, have you no shame? He leaned toward me again. Darling, we had a deal. You can't abandon me. I pushed both of them away. Stop flirting and leave me out of it. I'm not going to be some NPC in your lover's quarrel. Grape. Ethan's face was dark, a vein throbbing on his forehead. Don't talk nonsense. I'm not. Aren't you two engaged? Orion's long eyebrows furrowed. His lips pressed into a thin line, looking thoroughly disgusted. Darling, which idiot's mouth did you hear that garbage from? A rumor? I couldn't help but sneak a peek at the idiot who'd been enjoying the show from the sidelines. Felix shrugged, pocketed the sunflower seeds in his hand, and chuckled nervously. Well, haha. Haha. I have to go, you guys carry on. Don't mind me, bye. A shadow flashed past my eyes as Felix's voice faded into the distance. Brother, take care during a class break. Noah, my man, I never knew. Turns out you're the real puppet master, playing the crown prince and the heir to the Roland family like fiddles. I kicked Felix. Don't be mad. I'm complimenting you. Just try a little harder and you can snag the general, too. Then you'll have the royal family and the parliament in your pocket. TSK, TSK. Not even an everyone loves the protagonist novel would dare write a plot like that. Okay, actually, I think there was one, but the protagonist ended up. Just stop talking. I muttered, burying my face in my arms. A video of Ethan and Orion arguing had been filmed by someone and uploaded to the internet. Although it was deleted almost instantly, a lot of people still saw it. After being deleted, the rumors only spread faster and got more ridiculous. Use me babe, I'm good at it, I'm stronger than him, stick with me, bro. Player dumps first love for new flame, hot fake couple fights over alpha side piece. OMG guys, don't fight over me please, the rumors were turning me into some kind of home-wrecking femme fatale. This is so annoying. Thank God my face was blurred out. Ring, ring. Caden? I moved to a corner and made sure no one was around before answering. Caden had emphasized that I shouldn't expose our relationship at school, so usually Leo contacted me if there was anything. Was this an emergency? Why was he calling me himself? Hello? Noah. It's me. What's up? Caden didn't say anything. Hello? I waited for a moment, but there was no sound. Is the connection bad? That can't be. I had a stable connection even on Junkstar, let alone on the capital planet. Caden? 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 It's nothing. Beep. 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 Why did he hang up? So weird. Out of concern for my mate, I called Leo. Hello, young master. How may I help you? What's wrong with Caden? He was acting strange. Is it time to refresh our mark? It's nothing, sir. The general was simply indulging in some internet browsing today. Okay then. Completely bewildered, I went back to the classroom. So, who are you going to team up with? Felix's eyes were shining, a cowlick standing straight up on his head as he looked at me excitedly. The Crown Prince or Lord Orion? The dead memory came back to attack me. I covered my face and managed to say, both of them. What? A little louder, I didn't hear you. Both of them. What? I didn't want to face Orion alone, nor did I want to face Ethan alone. But the exemption from finals was just so tempting. I wanted it so badly. On a whim, I had blurted out, stop fighting. Let's just all team up. Ethan and Orion both froze, their expressions complex and strange. I regretted it the second I said it. I wanted to get rid of my own mouth. Someone else can have it. It's so hot. I'm going to shrivel up into a raisin. Grape, have some water. Ethan stood in front of me, his tall, straight figure blocking the scorching sun. I gulped down the water. The exchange competition was a battle royale. The rules were simple. Each participant wore a protective device that would activate upon detecting a fatal injury, protecting the participant and eliminating them from the game. Participants earned 1 to 5 points for each opponent they killed and acquired the eliminated person's existing points. The competition lasted for 1 month, and rankings were calculated based on the team's average score. Gulp, drink slowly. Ethan gently patted my back. As he bent over, the sun hit my face again. Orion leaned in to block it. Ethan glanced at him but said nothing. TSK, TSK, TSK. Felix shook his head beside me, sighing dramatically. He saw me looking at him. He secretly gave me a thumbs up. Who knows what was going through his head? We're almost out of the desert. Just hang in there a little longer. Grape. Darling, I can carry you. No, wait, that would expose you to the sun. How about you carry me? I promise to cover you up completely. The competition was held in the Four Seasons Forest, and all teams were dropped at random locations. Our 4-person team was incredibly unlucky and got dropped in the middle of a desert. 3 days had passed, and we hadn't encountered a single person. I glanced at the real-time rankings. As expected, Team 0886 was in last place. Don't worry, the real fight is in the last few days. Trust me. I wasn't worried. I was a little regretful. They would have an easier time without me. I'm rested. Let's get going. I can't be a burden forever. Get him. We're so lucky. Found one all by himself. I ran for my life, weaving through the trees. The school's physical training classes were actually paying off. I was much faster than before. The sound of footsteps behind me grew closer. I was running, out of stamina, and gradually slowed down. 0886 plus 5. 0886 plus 3. Current rank 54. Noah, you're really something. Thinking of this strategy. I was panting, leaning against Ethan's chest. But for the first time in a long while, my eyes were shining. I couldn't help but look up and smile at him. After we got out of the desert, our team's progress was still slow. Ethan and Orion were so famous that many people would spot them and run away from a distance. Actively hunting them down was too much trouble and not worth it. Felix sat cross-legged on the ground, chin in hand, beaming. It feels so good to have points just come to us. He and I would act as bait, while Orion and Ethan ambushed our pursuers. We'd already racked up a lot of points this way. It was just like back on Junkstar. I was the lure, Ethan was the ambush. Ethan had been against it at first. He didn't like me putting myself in danger, but I loved it. I loved this feeling, recklessly living on the edge. Ethan carefully wiped the stone slab clean. Sit down and rest. Darling, sit on my lap and rest. I'm just the right amount of soft and firm. Feels great too. I'll even give you a leg massage. I dodged Orion's grabby hands and chose the stone slab. Top 50 gets us exempt from finals. Only 4 more ranks to go. I'm so happy. Woohoo. Early in the morning, Felix looked listless, his curly brown hair drooping. What's wrong? I asked casually. I have a bad feeling. The last time I felt this way was when my uncle caught me reading smut. Smut? Oh, it's a groundbreaking genre of fiction. You wouldn't get it. It's really good. Anyway, let's get going. We'll definitely make the top 50 today. Exemption from finals, here we come. Ha ha ha. Felix's premonition came true. We encountered a team from the Federation, and they were utterly shameless. They were using an Omega in heat as a human shield. Fortunately, Orion was an Omega himself and completely unaffected. He dealt with them swiftly. 0886 plus 3. 0886 plus 1. But the Omega's heat pheromones inevitably drifted over. Ethan remained composed. Felix's cheeks, however, turned red. Afraid of losing control, he grabbed a large leaf to cover his crotch and went to soak in the river. I was even worse off. I collapsed into Ethan's arms. My rut and heat hit me at the same time, and they hit hard. The wave of lust was driving me insane. I was so scared. Brother, I'm melting. I clung to Ethan's sleeve, my breath scalding hot. Help me. Ethan's fingertips trembled. He froze. Quick, turn him over. Orion's eyes were dark, his expression unusually serious. Ethan, hurry up. Don't just stand there. Seeing Orion pull out a suppressant, Ethan snapped back to reality and let me lean over his shoulder. He pushed my hair aside, revealing my damp neck. One shot, but the effect was minimal. My mind was a fog. The school doctor's words flashed in my head. Your rut and heat interfering, weakening the suppressants. Have your Omega comfort you. Caden grabbed at Ethan's back, suddenly shouting senselessly, restlessly rubbing against him. Caden, I want Caden. Brother, I want Caden. Grape, my final exam exemption is gone. Wah, brother, I'm so hot. I don't want to wear clothes anymore. Brother, Grape wants Caden. I don't know how Caden got there. I just know I went from one embrace to another. This one smelled of bellflowers. Caden held me steady. My vision was blurry. I couldn't see his face clearly. This feeling was a little familiar. My thoughts drifted, like I was on a boat, floating far away. 6 months ago, Junkstar had just gotten internet access. I saw Ethan in a news photo from a banquet held on the capital planet. The Ethan in the corner looked like a different person, dressed in fine clothes, with a cool, aristocratic smile. He radiated an air of aloofness, so unfamiliar. I felt so bitter. Couldn't let it go. I wanted to ask him why he abandoned me. I boarded a smuggler's ship to the capital planet, leaving Junkstar for the first time. On the cramped ship, people were packed together like thick porridge. The air was foul and stagnant, but no one complained. Everyone was staring out the window. Their eyes held a secret hope. I was watching too. At first, I was looking at the stars, but then I saw a massive black starship. It was beautiful. It was my first time seeing one. I was a little excited. But then, desperate cries erupted from the crowd. Pirates! It's pirates! What do we do? I haven't found my daughter yet. I don't want to die. Mommy! Help! Pirates? Surrounded by overwhelming despair, I slowly realized I was probably going to die. I didn't feel particularly sad about it. No one wanted me anyway. If ed. Boom. A massive cannon blast hurtled toward our ship, like a firework. No one on the ship made a sound anymore. Their faces were numb as they quietly awaited death. But we were very lucky. It's no exaggeration to say that in that moment, Caden looked like a god descending from the heavens. The deafening roar of cannons exploded in our ears, but the shockwave stopped dead in midair, right in front of Caden. The people on the smuggler's ship cheered. Some sobbed uncontrollably, others laughed. And one idiot, trying to raise his arms in celebration, accidentally punched me and knocked me out. I became the only casualty of the disaster. I collapsed pathetically to the floor. Don't move. I think someone picked me up. As I drifted in and out of consciousness, I smelled the faint scent of bellflowers. Then I passed out completely. When I woke up, I saw a white ceiling, and Caden, dressed in a pristine white military uniform. I suddenly remembered I was an undocumented stowaway. Are you going to arrest me? A delayed wave of fear hit me. I pulled the blanket up to cover half my face, leaving only my eyes peeking out pitifully at Caden. Am I going to jail? Please, I don't want to go to jail. Caden didn't speak. He looked at me for a moment, then turned and left. Then a group of people in white coats came in and ran a bunch of tests on me. They came to two conclusions. I was perfectly healthy, and my pheromones had a 100% compatibility match with Caden's. This was an unexpected surprise. The research institute was ecstatic. Although my rank was low, Caden's genes were dominant. As long as the pheromones were a match, they were certain he could produce a powerful heir for the empire. In a complete daze, I ended up married to Caden. I got a capital planet citizenship and a little red marriage certificate. At first, I was very clingy with Caden. Caden was a very cold person, but he tolerated my interruptions. Later, he must have gotten tired of it because he had Leo take me to explore the capital planet, to go play and stop bothering him. Sir, the general asked me to give you this card. Leo adjusted his glasses, a sharp glint in his fox-like eyes. It has no limit and it's in your name. You can buy whatever you want. There was nothing I wanted. After hesitating for a long time, I found that news photo and pointed to the figure in the corner. Do you know who this is? I had tried doing a reverse image search online, but it came up with nothing. That's the Empire's third prince. Do you know him, sir? Oh, I shook my head. No, so be it. The capital planet was amazing. A single district was bigger than all of Junkstar. Is there a bar around here? I had to temporarily mark Caden tonight. I needed to build up some courage and buy some alcohol. That night, I performed poorly and even spouted some nonsense. Caden must have been very displeased with me. After that, he rarely came home, so I rarely saw him. Caden placed me on the bed, and my thoughts returned to the present. I stared at him blankly. Grape is hot, I feel bad, I cried out. I fumbled with my clothes. Too weak to do much, but still trying to throw myself at Caden. I'm not Ethan. I know. Caden took off his jacket, grabbed both of my hands, and held me tightly in his arms. Then who are you? Grape. Wrong. I am Grape. Think again. He looked down at me, unbuttoning the collar of my shirt, exposing my flushed collarbone to the air. I'm Caden's alpha. Caden smiled and kissed the corner of my eye. Good. For the first time in his life, Caden ate a grape. The grape's skin was thin, its seeds soft and small. It was incredibly endearing. It was a good grape. The flesh was tender, the juice abundant. A gentle squeeze would make it weep. A single bite would make it burst. Sweet and delicious. The usually faint and fleeting grape scent lingered for 2 whole weeks. By the time I was fully conscious, the competition was already over. Team 0886 had won by a landslide. Apparently, 2 members of Team 0886 had gone on a rampage in the later stages. The madness peeking through their expressionless faces left a deep psychological scar on many of the other contestants. It was a brutal, one-sided slaughter. Grape, aren't you happy you're exempt from finals? Aren't you gonna ask me anything? Like why I came to the capital planet? Or what my relationship with Caden is? Ethan had never asked me any of those questions. Just like I had never asked him why he abandoned me. Some questions you're dying to ask them, but when you're face to face you just can't get the words out. So strange. No questions. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. Ethan wrapped his arm around my shoulder like he always used to and patted my back. His voice soft. Whenever you're ready, I'll always be your brother. My chin rested on Ethan's shoulder, and I slowly blinked. I'm very happy about being exempt from finals. Super happy. Oh yeah, Felix had been insufferably smug for the past few days. He might as well have had exempt from finals tattooed on his forehead. He even made a point to stroll past the 3 alphas Orion had taught a lesson. He accidentally and casually showed off the massive trophy and medal hanging around his neck. Since we're exempt, let's go on a trip during exam week. Look at this travel promo. Sphere V is having a fireworks show to celebrate its 50th anniversary. It's going to be amazing. Fireworks? I love fireworks. I'm going. And just like that, it was decided. The general's office. Going to Sphere V? Yeah, with Felix. No, Sphere V is a fringe planet. You're not allowed to go. I'm going anyway. I shook off Caden's arm and kicked him defiantly. It was a completely subconscious reaction. I didn't even think about it. It was a habit I'd picked up over those 2 weeks. Kicking him whenever I was upset. Why are you blushing? A dusty footprint now marked his white uniform. But Caden's expression didn't change. He just gave me a faint look. Stop acting spoiled. Who's acting spoiled? But I felt a little guilty, so I didn't argue. I put my hands behind my back. What for? Is he going to smack my hand? Caden turned me around, took my left hand, then turned me back and slipped a silver ring onto my ring finger. We're not allowed to wear jewelry at school, I mumbled. It's fine as long as no one can see it. I don't know how Caden did it, but the silver ring gradually disappeared. I touched my ring finger. The ring was so thin that if I hadn't seen him put it on, I wouldn't have even been able to feel it. Caden kissed my forehead, his voice unusually gentle. Be safe. Report in every day. You're the best. I gave him a quick kiss on the cheek. Fair's fair. Swoosh. Bang. The anniversary fireworks celebration lived up to its name. Golden and silver clusters burst and scattered like rain, turning the night sky as bright as day. Dear visitors, the Golden Blossom Rain has concluded. The next show, Mirage, will begin in 10 minutes. Please wait in an orderly fashion at the viewing platform. Thank you for your cooperation. During the wait, I glanced at my messages. Lin Shui, why is Felix's uncle messaging me? I opened it. Young Master Song, is Felix with you? I can't reach him. He can't fly out of this flowery world. A sudden ringtone blared. Felix quickly hung up and grumbled. What a terrible song. It's been playing all night. Such bad taste. Seeing this, my hand, which had been about to reply, froze. Something's not right. Felix loves this song. He specifically set it as the ringtone for his uncle. Did they have a fight? Felix? What's up, Noah? Didn't you say you were going to send me your favorite smut FIC? Smut? A man of culture. I'll send it to you right now. Ding, I opened the link Felix sent and my heart sank. 1v1. Felix had told me he only reads NP smut stories with multiple partners. This person next to me. Who is he? Awake? Pretty sharp. You figured it out fast. A bucket of ice water was thrown on me, and my body started shivering uncontrollably. The world was spinning. I only remembered a sudden scream in the crowd, cries and shouts everywhere. Chaos. A few people surrounded me, then disappeared. My communicator was knocked out of my hand, and I don't know where it fell. Caden really treats you like a treasure. Taking out your bodyguards cost us quite a few men. He's so pretty. If it were me, I'd treasure him too. You? Could you afford it? He's covered in high-end gear. That stealth defense system alone costs over 50 million credits, not to mention the other stuff. If it weren't for me, you'd have been shot full of holes by now. Boss, are you sure this kid can really lure Caden here? A little lover might not be enough, but there are 3 million tourists on Sphere V. Caden will definitely come. Why isn't the boss saying anything? The boss doesn't like to talk. Oh, then let's get out of here. Don't want to disturb the boss. You don't have to tell me. Two identical-looking men grabbed me from the floor and started dragging me toward the door. Leave him. Yes, sir. The shadow in the distance moved, getting closer and closer. The person knelt down and grabbed my chin. He had a long scar running from the corner of his eye, adding a sharp edge to his otherwise delicate and gentle face. His long fingers were cold and slick, like a venomous snake. Is that hypocrite Caden good to you? I closed my eyes and didn't answer. Speak. The man suddenly squeezed hard. I felt like my jaw was going to shatter. None of your business. Slap. Blood trickled from the corner of my mouth, and my vision blurred. My left cheek was already swelling. How old are you? My scalp ached as he pulled my hair, his other hand gripping my throat. I don't have time to waste on you. Behave and you'll suffer less. 19. The man let go, and I clutched my mouth, coughing violently. 19. Ha ha ha. He muttered for a moment, his face streaked with tears, then suddenly burst into hysterical laughter. If my brother were alive, he'd be 19 too. You're the same age as him. Do you think Caden is a good person? And you are? I was in so much pain. I wanted to curse him out, but I didn't dare, and I didn't have the strength. Fortunately, he didn't seem to need a response, muttering to himself, a great hero, a savior. But my brother was not even 7 years old. He was so small. He loved candy, and he was afraid of pain. He was such a timid boy. He didn't even know what a pirate was. His eerie gaze fell on me, as if he wanted to carve off every piece of my flesh. Caden killed my brother. A life for a life. I can't wait to see the look on his face when he has to personally send you to your death. His expression twisted for a moment, and he gave a vicious smile. The feeling of losing the most important person. He has to experience it for himself. The Sphere V fireworks kidnapping case quickly spread across the galaxy. The culprit was the largest pirate organization, 1,000 branches. They had taken over 3 million residents and tourists hostage, trapping them on the fireworks viewing platform. Get Caden here. Our leader wants to talk to your general personally. There were too many hostages. The commander of the Sphere V garrison didn't dare make a move, breaking out in a cold sweat. The chaos outside couldn't reach me. I had been locked in this small room for 3 days. My hands were tied behind my back, and the cold floor had been warmed by my body. Sphere V was a remote planet. It took half a month to get here from the capital by high-speed starship, and even the most advanced jump technology took 5 days. I had thought about saving myself, but I was caught as soon as I got out the door and brought back. That psycho almost broke my leg. I shouldn't have even tried to run, but the layout outside the room felt familiar. I'd seen it before, but this was the pirates' main base. There's no way I've ever been on this starship. I must have been hit too hard. Sigh, I wonder how Felix is doing. I heaved a heavy sigh, my eyelids growing heavy. I just closed my eyes. It hurts so much. It really, really hurts. I can't sleep. My leg hurts so much. The pirate leader's name was Shane. He was seriously messed up. I had finally fallen asleep, and he was in the middle of the night having a breakdown and trying to kill himself next to me. The scent of oolong tea pheromones drifted over. Impossible to ignore. It was a real wake-up call. So annoying. Tell me, will he choose you? Shane's dark eyes turned stiffly toward me, the blood from his hand dripping onto my face. I turned my head away in disgust. Caden really found himself a little white rabbit. Shane laughed theatrically, smearing his own blood across my face, stroke by stroke. Little rabbit, do you know what M61 is? I didn't say anything. Fun little toy. A little toy. A toy that can kill people? Shane's gaze swept over the tourists trapped on the distant viewing platform. A flicker of interest in his eyes. When the time comes, we'll put one bomb on you, and another on the viewing platform. We'll play a lively and completely predictable game of choose one. Ha ha ha, Shane licked the remaining blood from his hand, laughing until tears streamed down his face. Boss, we've detected a military fleet 478 light-years away. Shane hauled me up, a smile on his face. The show's about to begin. Stop moving. I know you're looking forward to it. I struggled desperately, but it was no use. The needle still pierced my neck. Behave. Shane threw me into a small aircraft. He sealed the hatch tight from the outside. The aircraft suddenly ascended. Thud. My leg slammed hard against the wall of the cabin. The pain knocked me out. Boom. Shane's subordinates let out a strange cry, using a loudspeaker to shout at the trapped crowd on the platform.
Surprise.
Your great general has arrived. The bomb is right under your asses. Do you think he can save you? Ha ha ha. I slowly regained consciousness. The noisy voices were muffled through the cabin door. General Caden, don't say our boss isn't giving you a fair shot. We'll only detonate one bomb. You tell us which one to blow, and we'll leave the other one alone. Caden is here. I gritted my teeth and dragged my broken leg toward the cockpit. To hell with his choose one. 3 million lives versus my one. There was no comparison to be made. Caden was a general of the Empire. He had no need to make such a choice. Sweat ran down my hair and into my eyes, mixing with my tears. This kind of trashy, melodramatic plot should stay in soap operas. No matter what, I was gonna die anyway. I pushed myself up with my arms and quickly scanned the aircraft's control panel. Found it. The textbook said this old model of aircraft had a self-destruct command in the cockpit. Please let my child go. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Wah, I want to go home.
Mommy, I'm scared.
The heart-wrenching cries of tens of thousands of people flooded in from outside. My heart ached. Taking one last look out the window, I wiped away my tears and activated the self-destruct sequence. Shane's goal was to make Caden suffer. I could try to make Caden suffer a little less. And this time I'm not a burden. Don't worry about me. Focus on saving them. Darling. Someone grabbed my hand tightly. I turned my head in a daze. Orion? You? I blinked, and the tears that had been welling up in my eyes finally fell. Fat drops splattered on the floor. Don't be scared, don't be scared. I disarmed the bomb. I'm getting you out of here now. Orion carefully picked me up, sat in the pilot's seat, and with a few quick moves, overrode the aircraft's autopilot. I grabbed his hair. My voice was hoarse and embarrassingly choked with sobs. What about the people on the viewing platform? Leo and the other soldiers are saving them. Don't worry, everything will be okay. Shane is no longer a threat. Really? Really, really? Darling, does your leg hurt a lot? If it hurts, just bite me hard. Countdown initiated. I suddenly froze, a flash of terror in my eyes. He's 19 this year. He doesn't remember anything before he was 7. The first time I saw him, he was wandering alone on Junkstar, so small, so thin, and so weak. He's afraid of pain, and his pain tolerance is much lower than a normal person's. Shane's face was pale. He clutched his chest and coughed up a mouthful of blood, but the defiant smile on his lips remained. What nonsense are you spouting? You don't really think you've won, do you? Noah is your brother. Shane's smile vanished. He dug his fingernails into his palm and stared blankly at Ethan. You think I'd believe that? He has a small red birthmark on his upper thigh, shaped a bit like a butterfly. Shut up. He's timid, too. He has to hug something to sleep, and he has to sleep on the inside of the bed. Shut up. Shut up. He loves candy, but not gummy candy, and only grape flavor. Shut up. I told you to shut up. My brother is dead. How long are you going to lie to yourself? Does any of this sound familiar? That's how Noah was as a child. And he's still like that now. Don't you understand what you've done? Your brother never died. He managed to grow up safely on Junkstar. Ethan's voice choked with a sob, as if he were talking to himself. He finally found a little bit of happiness. I didn't know what was happening outside, but I already knew my fate was sealed. Orion, what is it, darling? Do you want to see the general? He'll be here in a... I have M61 in me. The comforting smile on Orion's face froze, his pupils shrinking. His voice was hoarse. What did you say? M61. I'm a goner. You need to leave. Now, how could that be? How? Darling, please, this isn't funny. M61 was supposed to have been completely destroyed by the Empire. M61 was a liquid body bomb that spread through the bloodstream. There was no cure, and just now its countdown had begun. Only I could hear it. A cruelly designed feature, meant to make the victim's final moments more agonizing than death itself. You should go. Stop, Caden. Stay away from me. No. Darling, what if I die with you? Get out. Don't waste time. I won't. If you don't go, do you want me to crawl out myself? Please, get out. I hate you. Don't you know that? Go. Can't you just let me have my way? Even in death? I want to go peacefully. I don't want to be responsible for someone else's life. Do you understand? You're not worth this, Noah. It was Caden. You heard? Yes. Caden, I'm here. I wanted to tell him not to say the same stupid things as Orion, but then I felt like I was being presumptuous. Maybe he wasn't planning some grand suicide pact. I didn't dare lift my head. I didn't want anyone to see me cry. Is everyone outside okay? The pirates are under control. Luckily, no innocent civilians were killed. That's good. What about Felix? We found him. He's okay. Tell Ethan. I understand he left without a word because he was afraid of getting me involved. I don't mind at all. Actually, I minded a little. Okay. I'm the one who killed the cactus in your office, not Leo. Elite. Can you apologize to him for me? I know. You have to take care of the grapevines I planted at home. They need sun, and you should only water them when the soil is dry. When you do water, soak it thoroughly. And when you prune them, don't be too. Caden, I stopped my rambling. I'm a little scared. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I really wanted to cry. Turns out that when someone wants you, you don't want to die anymore. Caden knelt down, gently wiped my face, buttoned my shirt, and kissed my forehead, almost reverently. His voice was a soft, barely there whisper. Do you remember the ring I gave you? We will meet again. Don't be afraid, Noah. I won't lie to you. We will meet again. There's no time. You have to go. Go now. Just a little longer. Go. Just go. Noah, I love you. Why are you so frustrating? Get out. I piloted the aircraft slowly upward. School wasn't a total waste. Huh? Sigh. Will we really meet again? My mind flashed back to the first time I met Caden. Boom, a firework. I like fireworks. 3 epilogues. Epilogue I, a barren branch. My brother hated me. Back when I was still in our mother's womb, she asked him to pick a nice name for me. Shane propped his chin on his hand, thought for a moment, and gave a wicked smile. How about Petal? Shane Petal. Get serious. What if it's a boy? Are you gonna call him Sprout? The woman rolled her eyes. A boy would be called Petal too. Shane didn't even look up, and after that he ignored her. He was very busy. Sphere V was a backward, fringe planet that still held on to many old customs. The 7th of this month was the unified entrance exam for Sphere V's high schools. Shane had taken on a lot of odd jobs recently just to scrape together the exorbitant registration fee. Go to school, get a diploma, find a decent job. Life would probably get a lot better. He thought casually. He glanced at the woman's belly. TSK. Shane did very well on his exam. The woman was overjoyed. Shane was not, because she died right after giving birth to me. My cries disrupted his life and, worse, filled him with disgust. He thought about strangling me several times. Cry, 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 that's all you do. How am I supposed to know if you're hungry or if you need to be changed? He fed me fiercely, changed my diapers fiercely, wiped my butt fiercely, and fiercely soothed me to sleep, then went to earn my formula money with dark circles under his eyes. He was only 15 that year. No family, just a crying burden by his side. Sphere V was a fringe planet. A fringe planet is a planet on the edge of the universe. Pirates had their eyes on it. The fires of war spread silently. On the first day Shane took Petal to kindergarten, they were captured. Shane was beautiful. Though he was cold, his eyes held a natural charm. The pirate leader was a blond man with mismatched eyes. He unzipped his pants. Shane would rather die than submit and was hung high by his wrists. A long, bloody gash whipped across the corner of his eye. He didn't understand then that the more he resisted, the more those men wanted to break him, to shatter his pride piece by piece. To see him cry, to see him beg. They took pleasure in it. They never tired of it. And coincidentally, Shane had a weak spot. Coincidentally, that weak spot was in their hands. Coincidentally, that weak spot was timid and afraid of pain. Coincidentally, that weak spot cried for his brother. Shane broke. He told me to cover my eyes. No matter what happened, I was not allowed to open them. If you dare to look, I'll abandon you. Petal, I mean what I say. He pinched my face. his expression blank as he threatened me. I was very obedient. Sometimes, at night, I would hear his broken sobs. I was so sad. I was so useless. Shane spoke less and less. Cigarette burns, whip marks. The scars looked especially hideous on his pale skin. Sometimes he would grab my neck and tell me to die. He said my existence had ruined his life. I didn't really understand. But I knew that my brother was unhappy because of me. I didn't struggle. I just closed my eyes. I was being good, hoping it would make him a little happier. Even just a little. One day, Shane noticed some bruises on my upper thigh. His eyes turned bloodshot. He hysterically demanded to know who had touched me. He was like a madman. After that, Shane was like a different person. I grew up a little. The people around us gradually seemed to become afraid of Shane. The contempt and disdain in their eyes turned to caution, and even fear. I was 6 years old. That annoying blonde-haired man knelt at Shane's feet, saying he had fallen in love with my brother. My brother slapped him and killed him with a smile. The people around us bowed down and called my brother leader. Shane held me, his smile grim and twisted. He said no one could ever bully me again. Shane got busier and busier, and more silent. He would gently rub my head, then stop, his hand resting on my head without moving, as if he were in a daze. I would nudge his palm with my head and look up to ask him what he was thinking. Shane said he couldn't turn back. His hands were already stained with filth. They could never be washed clean. I looked at his hands curiously. Brother, were you playing in the mud without me? Why didn't you take me with you? I was captured by some people again. They said they would use my life to threaten my brother into giving up his position as leader and his territory. But I was rescued by a big brother named Major Caden. Major Caden told me not to be afraid and asked who I was. I said my name was Petal. He asked where my home was, if I had any family. I said I didn't have a home, but I had a brother. My brother's name was Shane. I want to find my brother. Petal wants to find his brother. I was still scared, sobbing quietly in Major Caden's arms. Major Caden was silent for a long time. He ignored me after that and handed me over to someone else. That person asked me a lot of confusing questions and then handed me over to another person. That person handed me over to another person. I don't know how many people I was passed between. I finally ended up in a place called an orphanage. The director of the orphanage was a kind-looking old man who smiled and promised the person who brought me that he would take good care of me. But he didn't actually like me. He kicked my stomach so hard it hurt. It hurt so much I couldn't breathe. All the other children got candy. I didn't. I couldn't even get enough to eat. They wouldn't play with me either. They called me the pirate's spawn. They said the director's granddaughter was killed by pirates. So I was a bad person. Bad people deserve to die. The director had to go on a long trip to throw out some trash. He took me with him. He threw me into a garbage heap. I fell from a great height along with the trash. I hit my head. I passed out. I was so hungry. I rummaged through the garbage for food. I didn't know who I was or where I was. The air smelled foul, and my throat was always coated with a thick layer of grit. As far as the eye could see, there was only garbage and garbage. Garbage and garbage. Garbage and garbage. But one day I got lucky. I found a box of expired chocolate. The chocolate was stolen. Sigh. I'm so hungry. I can't walk anymore. But my luck hadn't run out. I found a piece of hard candy. The owner of the hard candy was named Ethan. He was a good person. He found food for me. He gave me a nice name. He told me to call him brother and said he would never abandon me, that he would stay with me as I grew up. I was so happy. I have a brother. I have a brother now. Epilogue 2 Redemption Latest News. The kidnapping case resulted in 1 death and 975 injuries. The Thousand Branches pirate organization has been completely dismantled, with a total of 6,480 arrests. Star Channel will continue to bring you updates. I heard a blurry voice in the background. So loud. Caden. Turn it off. I want to, Wait a minute. Sleepiness vanished in an instant. I shot my eyes open.
Roll, 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 roll.
After a lot of effort, I finally rolled out from under the dark bed. The moment my head popped out, a pair of well-defined hands picked me up, gently patting off non-existent dust. I was placed on the headboard. Am I dreaming? I dazedly looked down. On the bed, someone who looked exactly like me was lying peacefully in the center. I was fully awake now. I quickly looked at my current self. A green leaf drooped over my head like a sideswept bang. My body was round. A ball. A great ball, the purple, round plushie I always hugged to sleep. When I slept with Caden, he held me and I held it.
Roll, roll.
I couldn't control myself and rolled off the headboard again, ending up face to face with the me on the bed. This is a little creepy.
Top, top.
Footsteps approached from behind. I didn't know who it was. To be safe, I resisted my curiosity and remained perfectly still. I was picked up again. This time, I finally saw the owner of those hands. Caden. Caden. We really did meet again. I made my body bounce up and down in Caden's hands, cheering. I'm so happy. Noah. Caden held me in both hands and gently kissed my little leaf. Is that my body on the bed? A clone? The kiss was lasting a long time. I got a little embarrassed and used my leaf to brush Caden's chin, pointing toward the center of the bed. Yes. And we've upgraded your body's physique to S rank. Wow. I'm not a weakling anymore. The Research Institute really is amazing. A ring that stores souls, custom-made high-rank bodies. But why did I end up in this plushie? I stood on Caden's shoulder, using my leaf to hold onto his ear to keep from rolling off. The researcher across from us pushed up her glasses, her long eyebrows knitted together. The reason is currently unknown. The ring is still in the development stage. This is the only one in existence, and it requires the precise coordination of a triple S rank psyche to create and use. This is the first time it's been used on a person. So how do I get back into my body? I let go of the leaf and rolled into Caden's palm. I'm so bouncy. Boing boing with the slow guidance of a triple S rank psyche. She paused, then added, to be safe, the more triple S rank psyche users involved, the better. But triple S rank psyches are rare. The general could invite the one from the Roland family to help. Woohoo! I rolled all over Caden, occasionally bouncing off his face. Are you tired? When do you want to change back? Caden caught me and gently pinched my little leaf. Sigh. Actually, I could feel that Caden was being a little overly cautious with me. No matter what trouble I caused now, he didn't scold me. Why is this so satisfying? Whenever is fine. I'm a little sleepy. Where's my brother? Does he know I'm alive? Yes. Caden glanced at the time and said gently, he'll be here soon. But before I could see Ethan, I fell asleep curled up in Caden's arms. I had a very, very long dream. From a cramped rental room to a pitch-black starship, to an orphanage, Junkstar, the capital planet, brother, I shouted, startling myself awake from the dream. I was enveloped in a huge wave of sadness. I wanted to cry, but no tears came. Grape is awake. I looked at Ethan. His figure gradually overlapped with another person's, then separated again. A sorrowful voice echoed deep in my mind. Petal, Empire Prison, no. Don't be afraid. Caden held me as he swiped through several security checkpoints and entered the deepest part of the prison. I silently shook my leaf. I remember everything now. I remember it all. I want to see Shane. My brother. Caden pushed open the door. It was dead silent inside. Not even the sound of breathing could be heard. I poked my head out, then quickly pulled it back, my leaf spinning in anxious circles. People change so much. I've turned into a plushie now. Will Shane even recognize me? I was overcome with nervous apprehension. I poked Caden's hand. Caden spoke calmly. Shane. No answer. I gathered my courage. Brother. Once I started, it wasn't so hard. Brother, it's me, Petal. I'm still alive. Brother. First, Shane didn't dare to look at me. Then he just held me and cried. His tears soaked into my body, absorbed by the cotton inside, making me heavier. Petal. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. When he cried, I wanted to cry too. And since I now had water inside me, I shed tears as well. The Empire doesn't have the death penalty, only imprisonment. Although Thousand Branches was the largest pirate organization, its targets were mostly other pirates, so most of its members didn't receive very long sentences. However, as the leader, Shane was sentenced to a full 309 years. Why so long? That's almost longer than the average lifespan in the galaxy. Brother. My leaf drooped and I was worried. You have to be good and get out early. When Petal was 5, after Shane had that breakdown, he went through a secondary differentiation. He became a double triple S rank alpha. He gained the capital to plot and seek revenge. But he felt no gratitude for it. On the contrary, he was disgusted. The immense power within him was a constant reminder of the humiliation and suffering he and Petal had endured. But now he was incredibly grateful. Grateful that he could help return Petal's soul to his body. Grateful that he could atone for his mistakes. Brother, how tall are you now? I feel like you're much taller than before. I wrapped my arms around Shane's neck and hung from his body. Just like when I was little. I missed this. 6 feet 2 inches, Shane took a long stride and, holding his little Petal, sat down on the rocking chair under the grape arbor. I want to grow taller too. I shifted into a comfortable position in Shane's arms and suddenly paused. Oh, Caden has them too, but he never lets me touch them. Let me touch yours. Why don't I have any after training so much? Sigh. A hint of a smile flashed in Shane's indulgent eyes. Despair can be a kind of death. He had once thought of atoning for his sins with death. But for him, death was an escape. Living was the greatest punishment. In truth, he didn't even deserve to die. Later, when he learned that Petal could be brought back to life, he was overjoyed but also prepared to never be forgiven. But his Petal was too foolish. Foolishly saying, "Brother, I don't blame you at all." Foolishly saying, "You must have suffered so much. I missed you so much." Foolishly saying, "Brother, I'll serve time with you, don't be afraid." Fortunately, a double triple S rank alpha was powerful and rare. Moreover, Shane wasn't exactly a vicious criminal. The Empire couldn't help but entertain the idea of recruiting him. They allowed Shane to atone for his crimes through meritorious service. Coincidentally, Shane knew the pirates inside and out and helped the Empire take down many of their strongholds. The 309-year sentence was mostly offset, and the remaining few years were converted to parole. Now he was semi-free. "Brother, I'm sleepy. Go to sleep, little one." The rocking chair swayed gently. The grapes under the green leaves were ripe. For the rest of his life, Shane could protect his Petal. Epilogue 3. A tacit understanding. Shane never intended to kill those 3 million people. Ups. Brother, you have abs too. Too? After the misunderstanding was cleared up, Shane was still not happy about Caden stealing his brother. When he saw the hickey on Petal's neck, his desire to kill someone reached its peak. Ethan eliminated the other princes and successfully ascended the throne. He never married. The entire empire knew their emperor was a workaholic and a doting brotherholic. The two brothers couldn't stand each other, but they would occasionally exchange tips on raising their kid. This only made them hate each other more. Orion's last name is not a vegetable. Not a vegetable. Not a vegetable. After helping restore Noah's soul, he quietly swapped out the grape plushie. He held the now inanimate plushie and secretly cried for several days. The Roland family's intelligence network spanned the galaxy. During Noah's kidnapping, they went through great trouble and finally uncovered the truth of what happened all those years ago. Unfortunately, they were a step too late. Felix was so traumatized by his uncle that he was afraid to go home. He couldn't even enjoy his favorite smut fix anymore, because the methods his uncle used on him were learned from his smut collection. Kyle's sleepwalking symptom is kissing his brother, Julian. Adjutant Leo has a fetish that is better left unsaid.